In today's episode, Lou and I are going to be going through our top 10 rap songs of 2024. What a year it's been. The community was hotter than ever. And guys, we're going to be celebrating the best songs that have come out in the 365-day period. But guys, we have a major announcement. December 29th, we're going to be hosting our award show. It's back. It's better than ever. We're super excited because there's a lot of material to nominate. So on December 29th, we're going to be going through all of the nominations and picking an award for each and every single category. Not only that, but we're going to be raffling off vinyls. So if you guys want to keep up with everything related to the award show, turn on the notification bell. But guys, thank you from the entire NFR team for a wonderful 2024. And guys, happy holidays. Be safe in the month of December. Lou, let's get into this.
Yes,
all right?
sir.
10 of the best.
Let's go.
Only 10 of them. So, let's talk about criterias. There was a lot of good music, Lou. There's a lot of good songs that did not make my list. But I'm happy. I'm happy. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this is going to age like fucking milk. But regardless, though, I'm locked in for this list.
Absolutely. And we did our top 10 rap songs of 2024 so far. So I might have a bit of an idea of where you went with some of these picks.
But it's changed, Lou.
It's changed. It's changed for me as well. I mean, I definitely have at least a couple picks that are the same, I'll say that, but it's exciting, bro, just because it was such an eventful year, like you said. Not only did we get amazing albums all across the year, we got a huge battle that definitely gave us Song of the Year contenders within that as well. So there was a lot to go through, but for me, I'm looking at the complete package, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not just looking for who is the sharpest with the pen. I'm not just looking at who made the biggest club banger. Like, there's a lot that went into this when it came to curating the list. And I really tried to look at every aspect of the song and what excelled on every level. That's really what I went in with. What about you?
Man, I kind of looked at the year as a whole, and I'm like, okay, what's some of the best writing of the year? Mixed in what was some of the most impressive production that I heard all year? Also my rotation as well. Like, what's gravitated towards me? Like, what have I really enjoyed listening to? Of course, people like to say that that's all. Well, you're not being objective. Well, it is a category in our reviews. It's been forever, so I do have to take that into consideration. Some great collaborations. Also, like, there's going to be material from the Beef this year.
Oh, for sure.
There definitely is. I think there was a lot of good music that was released within that period. Some of the sharpest rapping I heard all year came from that period. Some of the most memorable records from the year came out of that period. So you better believe you're seeing some material there. Plus, I want to say this. For my list this year, I think this is the first time where, like, a big, I would say maybe market share of the top 10 is going to be split maybe between only a couple of different artists. So for example, like maybe in previous years, like it was one or two from each rapper. But for this one, like,
yeah,
I don't know. There's going to be some interesting picks here.
Yeah, 100%. Number 10 on my list is Like That by Future and Metro Boomin featuring Kendrick Lamar. What is your number 10 pick,
I have
sir?
On or Off the Drugs by JPEG Mafia at number 10.
Either On or Off the Drugs. Made the list, okay?
Yes, it did make the list. I absolutely adore this song. I think that, well, first of all, did you know this? This was actually an AI-generated sample.
Yes.
And that's what I find so interesting about it is that...
Wait, did you know that it's actually a cover of a Future song?
Really?
It's an AI-generated blues song from the 70s, but it's actually a cover of Future's song, Turn on the Lights.
Yes.
Crazy little pull from JPEG, but... yeah, keep on going, bro.
Well, I think it's the total package as far as a rap song goes. I think the production is super dynamic. One of my favorite beat switches of the year. This whole thing of, like, fuck that unk music, and I'm not down to hear sample flips. I mean,
Get that guy out of here, bro.
I'm not in that boat.
Take a hike, buddy.
No, take a hike. You know, we're not going to be doing this. This is the perfect example of when a soul sample is done right and when it's flipped with such creativity. Even that, like, I feel like JPEG really pushed his pen on this album as a whole, but with this song, it's really prominent, talking about battling his inner demons, talking about the life decisions that he has to make on a daily basis. I really do feel like this is the total package as far as a song goes, even on the writing front. And when you look at even the earworm factor for this song, it's contagious, it's addictive. Like, it's been in my rotation the entire year, and I feel like it's one of, like, those JPEG songs, for example, like a Hazard Duty Pay, where it's undeniable. You cannot deny the quality or the replay value of this type of song. So made my number 10.
Yeah, so for myself, Like That, I've spoken about this song about 1,000,000 times, and I think it's a song we're going to be speaking about in 2025, in 2026, in 2036, in 2086. I feel like it is one of those songs for the history books, and just when hip-hop felt like it was getting a little bit stale, a little bit boring, a little bit predictable, you have Kendrick Lamar coming out with this surprise verse and setting up a title match between himself and the big three of hip-hop in a winner-takes-all fashion with the lyrical bomb, Motherfuck the Big Three. It's just Big Me. And this song is a song that excels on so many different levels. You're getting peak Future and Metro Boomin. You're getting Metro Boomin modernizing this Miami bass 80s synth sound with all the synth splashes that you heard throughout that track, which were electrifying from a production level. And of course, Kendrick Lamar shooting out disses in such a poetic way, bro. Like, when you look at lines like "For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gonna see Pet Cemetery." This isn't a straight up, like, go fuck yourself type of diss that, we've come accustomed to by different artists in hip hop. Like, these were very poetically, intricately written by Kendrick. They hit hard. The performance was highly energetic, and it's an absolute blast to listen to, bro. It revitalized competition for hip hop, and it led to Kendrick being crowned almost unanimously the king of this shit. So the impact and just the sequence of events that took place after make it so impactful, and amazing track, bro.
It is an amazing track. All right, let's keep going on with this number 9 selection. This is where I'm going to have We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro.
I figured. I'm like, you're going to go We Don't Trust You. I'm going to go with Like That off the album. You have any other picks on this list? Neither do I.
Okay.
But my number 9 is going to be Trey the Truth in Ibiza by J.
Nice
Cole.
Pick. Yeah, I'm going to get there soon. With We Don't Trust You, I think that it was also a pivotal moment for hip-hop because it started off what would be one of the most iconic collaboration albums that we've gotten in the 2020s decade. I think it's one of Future's most impressive performances from a solo standpoint, maybe since Future's self-titled, if I'm being honest with you. And this is that type of Future that I'm buying into 24/7. That Cowboy Hat, 56 Nights, DS2 type of Future where he's just locking in and like you're mesmerized by the flows and the melodies that he's able to provide on this type of track. I think the production is beautiful. I love those thumping 808s provided by Metro Boomin, and I think that it's an extremely underrated song when it comes to their catalog. I think it's a perfect record from this year. I also love how the outro is extended and Future is like extending those vocals and he's hitting those notes and then boom, you're getting these crazy fucking synths from Metro. Like, it feels like one of their most complete collaborations. Not only that, but it's the first time you ever maybe see Future going into like a diss bag, talking about how, Drake was snitching and, how he was pillow talking, all that stuff. And I'm not there for that. It's not that I care, but at the end of the day, I still found it cool from like a content perspective. And it was never going to really get a whole diss track from Drake and, targeted towards Metro and Future. We got that on Push Ups in another song that maybe I'll be talking about on this list. But when you look at this song as a whole, I think it's the complete package, and I could argue it's the best trap song of the year.
Yeah, no, from a subject matter point of view, it was original to hear Future go at someone. You don't really get that in Future's music
and
all that
impressive.
often.
He's mad about it. It's like it's not the most impressive, like as far as lyrics go, but it's just like it's ear candy. You want to talk about getting the earworm, just like On or Off the Drugs. I mean, you could really.
The replay value is endless for sure. But yeah, for Trey the Truth in Ibiza, I mean, I could have picked numerous amounts of songs from Might Delete Later. There was 3001 that I absolutely adore. There's Crocodile Tears, which is maybe from a raw rapping perspective the best performance from him on the album. There's Pie, which was also unbelievable from a lyrical point of view. But with this song, it's the full package, right? The instrumental starting you off, and it feels like I'm walking into a church for a wedding with all the orchestral textures, the organs, the cool strings, the soulful vocal sample as well. And when you go into the song at face value, you might think that it's about J. Cole's trip to Ibiza in 2012 with Trey the Truth, but it's really about his journey as an artist over the years, if you really go into it, and how he has to try to keep that hunger alive and keep, the work ethic as strong and intact as it can be. And what I really appreciate the most about this song is J. Cole's humility, talking about like
how he's written band refrains and stuff like that.
Exactly. Just like him being a public figure and having to grapple with the fact that he will make mistakes. And there's even a cool yin and yang at play where he's like, anyone that's that I've hopped on a song with, like I've killed them. And then literally moments later, he says, I've written a large amount of bad refrains, and let him hear all of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the strong, the weak. It's me. All the portrayals of anything different are fraudulent. And I feel like the timing of this was so perfect. It's not like it was intentional, but after getting a solid project like Might Delete Later, but like a mishap, like 7 Minute Drill, it just felt like it perfectly applied to his current status in hip hop and the different conversations going on around his name. But I love the multiple flow switches. I love how emotionally driven it is, how he's holding that metaphorical mirror in front of his face. It's a song that just felt super sincere, and like from a human to human connection that I felt with a song this year, this is really high up there.
There we go. Well, speaking about my number 8, Trade the Truth in Ibiza.
There you go.
By J. Cole. What do you have at number 8?
My number 8 is going to be Sanjay by Mac Homie.
Great pick. Honestly, in my honorable mentions, probably more towards the end of this episode, we'll be going through our honorable mentions. But Trade the Truth in Ibiza, I think you did a great job of explaining this song. Seeing J. Cole's hunger and seeing what type of relentless run that he's been on since the beginning of his career, and seeing that passion and that flame is still alive is not only inspiring, but I feel like it speaks to the type of career that he's had, and I feel like people needed to be remembered of that, especially within Might Delete Later. When I went through this album, it was kind of a song that not necessarily went under the radar for me, but I was really concentrating on 7 Minute Drill, right? And then weeks later, when we started doing content and, MDL started kind of getting into my rotation, I started asking questions like, is this one of the best songs of the year? And it really is, from a production standpoint. The beautiful soul sample, like going on with J. Cole's rapping ability, and like you said, all the flow switches, especially on that first verse. I think it's top tier rapping for 2024. The best song he released all year, in my opinion, as well.
Yep.
I think it does strive in different areas when in comparison to maybe even a 3001 or Crocodile Tears that could have made a top 10 list, or maybe even a Port Antonio if you wanted to bring that one.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that at one point I feel like you said, "Oh, this might be song of the year." Like, was that just like the recency?
It was
coming
probably
in?
recency bias.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this year with me, like I suffered from a lot of recency bias because I was hyped, I was emotional, I was it was like I really took the fan perspective this year because it was so hard to be a critic, and it was so hard to like really analyze music this year because there was so much coming out, there was so many different things happening. It was poetic, it was cinematic, and like that's what I loved about 2024 because it really like brought the fandom back into me, and like it really made me see everything from a, I don't know, I would say I want like a 360 view, right? You're just kind of like looking inside in, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. So that's my number 8.
Beautiful song. So yeah, Sanjay by Mac Homie. This is one of the many wonderful songs on Rich Ass Haitian. And when it comes down to when you're looking at the technical rapping, when you're looking at the production, the writing, it fires off on all those fronts. And there's a very nice mellow boom bap instrumental on here. You have some live percussion, some spacey piano keys, a super chill bass line that acts as the heartbeat of the song. And there's even some eerie vocals at the start by Georgia Ann Muldrow, which just adds to this intoxicating but tense feeling that he's instilling sonically throughout the track. And the main message with this song from Mac Homie is about like, if you're gonna have a platform, if you're gonna say things of significance, say them boldly, like stand up for the message that you have, say it with your chest. I really thought that it was a cool and different message to hear from an artist, not one that you get all the time. And he's even rapping with a fuck ton of passion, focus, and marveling over what he's been able to do for his family with lines like "fuck a Forbes list," "I get my mother out of the gutter," and it feels like movement music. And more importantly, his second verse on this song is one of the strongest verses in hip hop this year, without a doubt. Not only because of the supersonic speed he's rapping at, but also the rhyme scheme that he exhibits here, because it's almost like every syllable of one line rhymes with the next syllables of the following line. It's maybe someone knows the technical term for that, but it was just, wizardry from a pen point of view. And like I said, message-wise, it was amazing. Fired off on all fronts for me, and one of Mac Homie's strongest songs that I've ever listened to. But let's go on to our number 7 picks here. This is where I have Samurai by Lupe Fiasco.
This is where I'm going to have Hey Jane by Tyler, the Creator. This is where I'm going to bring it in. So speaking about Hey Jane, self-produced by Tyler, you guys know the drill. It's just such a beautiful song concept about, the life that you kind of go into when, you find out the news that you're having a child, and maybe you're questioning whether I should keep it, whether I should not. And that's kind of the conversation that Tyler's having with his girl. And it's so interesting because he takes the perspective from his own voice for the first verse, and then within the second, he's taking the perspective of the girl that's pregnant. And I think from a song concept perspective, this is one of the most interesting of the year. I love how this song concept could also speak to millions of people and how people deal with this shit on a daily basis. Like this is really something that I feel like is original for hip hop in 2024. And the fact that it's interesting for Tyler's catalog as a whole, because he's spoken about fatherhood, in so many different interviews, and he's had conversations about how, like, he feels like he wants to be selfish with his own time and how he wants to kind of like live out his dreams, and that maybe doesn't permit him to be a family man. So to be able to see that contextualized within a record on Chromacopia for me was so interesting. And it's really the sheer writing and the progression of it. Also from a song concept structure, you're arguably getting some of the best verses of the year because of how long they are. And even the connective tissue within the conversation, everything flows so well. I think that this is Tyler really pushing his pen as a lyricist. And as I said, one of the best concepts of the year.
100%. So yeah, Samurai by Lupe Fiasco. This is the title track from Lupe's latest album, Samurai. And it's another lyrical masterclass from the Chicago legend. And when it comes down to it, I feel like it's, in terms of how it resonates with me, one of Lupe's best songs musically, in terms of the way he's able to harmonize and have melodies on a super catchy chorus. And like, to make a chorus catchy out of a line like, I got these really neat, very beautifully alliterated little battle raps for you, I thought that was impressive. Like taking a little snippet from Amy Winehouse's voicemail and turning that into the chorus, it's just the way that his mind operates. It's so creative. And this song is him sort of setting up the concept of the record, and he does what he does best here, right? He paints a vivid picture with his words. He's giving you the scene where you have the struggling artist standing outside of an opera house, trying to get a couple of bucks off the street, and her being judged by the upper class citizens around her. And I'm not going to give you the full rundown of what the song is about, but just to say, it sets up the concept as the intro so beautifully. And production-wise, like I was saying, it's a very hypnotic jazz instrumental. I love the trumpets. I love the bass line. It gives you Nujabes vibes, which I thought was really refreshing and nice to hear in 2024. The rhyme schemes, of course, are unmatched. You're getting multis like Smile Wide got the panorama camera vibe. If you analyze, she's a one-woman gala, glamorized. Shit leaves me speechless. It really does. And it's interesting because songs like this make me want to reconsider, like, is this going to crack my top 10 albums of the year? And at the time of this recording, it's sort of an unknown. So we'll have to see what happens.
Oh, yeah, this is the song that's making you reconsider putting Samurai in that top 10 list?
It's one of them. I mean, there's also, songs on here like Mumble Rap. Like, there's a couple others that are really, really strong. So we'll have to see. I don't know.
Yeah, that one, I'm on the fence about it as well. So,
yeah,
guys, if you want to stay tuned for our top 10 albums of 2024, that's coming out shortly. And if you guys are watching this after that video's come out, it's available on the channel.
Yes, sir. But number 6.
Number 6.
This is where I have my Tyler pick.
This is where I'm going to have Family Matters by Drake.
Wow. Yeah, that's the shocker of the episode.
That one's the big one.
Wow, okay.
Family Matters by Drake.
Respectable, bro. This is interesting just because I feel like, well, by the way, my pick is Take Your Mask Off by Tyler, the Creator. But it's interesting because I feel like upon, first listen, first few weeks, I felt stronger about Family Matters maybe than you did, and I was championing it a bit more. And now, come to see end of the year, you feel stronger about it than I do. So let's hear it, bro.
Music grows on me, man. I have to say that. I'm able to admit when I'm right and wrong about records. I feel like, at the end of the day, yeah, we do run a music commentary platform. But the nature of our platform is that we release a lot of content and we're always raw and honest with you guys. So if I feel something in the moment, I'll tell you guys. And then if I end up changing my opinion on it as time goes on, because I've picked up on certain things, I see the record differently. I'll never shy away from saying like, hey, this is an incredible record. And honestly, this is an incredible record, bro. I can't say enough about it. Like when I really look at pure hip hop, okay, and I really look at what Drake provided in Family Matters, this for me is kind of like, I'm not saying it's on the level of a takeover. Let's not go there. But I'm saying is that I feel like it's the takeover of 2024, where it's like, you got the ether after it. Obviously, there's questions to be had about that side, and I'll be speaking about a couple of Kendrick records more as the list progresses. But with this one, I feel like it was so strong in quality. I do feel like there's certain parts of the song that are a bit disjointed, But with that being said, it's the nature of the song. It's 7.5 minutes of just fucking pure rapping and pure fire. Like, it's Drake coming out with so much passion, so much emotion, and like I could respect that from him. Especially like, okay, I had this conversation with someone at one point, and this is kind of the way that I feel like, this is my standpoint on Drake within the feud as a whole, and I maybe take some time to talk about it now, now that I view it all these, months later. Let's say someone like JPEG Mafia, or let's say someone like, I don't know, Mac Homie, or let's say someone like Freddie Gibbs would have dissed Kendrick. Chances are he probably wouldn't have gone after him, but the fact that like, it's him versus Drake, I feel like he had to put his nuts on the table for this one, and like he did it, bro. He went in and
they both did,
and like he fucking fought, bro. He did his thing. Like, as much as I feel like Kendrick Lamar did get the W in that battle, in my personal and humble opinion, bro, like Drake really came out this year and he fucking fought, bro. He didn't shy away from it. He didn't say fuck this. He really went after it.
Didn't fight until the end, though. Didn't fight until the end. Threw in the white flag.
Okay, with the hard part 6, that's an interesting conversation because that's.
I don't think you want to bring that into your argument for you're trying to make.
No, but up until this point, bro, I feel like Family Matters, like this is one of those records. This is an incredible diss record. The 3 beat switches, bro, that is nasty. That is fucking nasty, bro. All the angles that he took, bro. At the end of the day, like
all the angles. I don't know if all the angles he took were well executed. I can't say that.
They're not all well executed, but it's the fact that there's so much that went into this. I feel like if this record was maybe a bit more focused in writing and it was just a tad better executed upon, I feel like it would have probably been a bit better to the hip hop community.
Yeah,
but looking at everything that it stands for, everything that went into this, it's one of the best produced songs of the year. It's one of the craziest rapping performances of the year. There's full of crazy quotables throughout it. It marks one of the biggest moments of 2024. I couldn't leave this off my list. I'm like, nah. From an unbiased standpoint and really, from the fandom in me, this had to be included on the top 10.
I respect it. I think definitely if you take it out of the context of the battle, you can appreciate the song a little bit more. At least I can, because it's not like I'm thinking, if I'm just appreciating the song, like, oh, why did he go after so-and-so when it was just him and Kendrick? Like, there's so many of those angles that I can sort of like push to the side just to enjoy the song on its own.
But that's what I did now, is because I'm out of the battle, I'm out of that context, and I'm not analyzing the music the same as I was maybe in April, because that's a completely different context. But now looking at this record, definitely one of the best of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Take Your Mask Off by Tyler. I love this because it marked a very pivotal turning point on one of the most remarkable albums of the year. And when you really think about it, it reminds me of sort of a continuation of Garden Shed, where Tyler is revealing more and more about who he really is and what he's hidden from the world about himself, which, of course, he's had the right to. And we're blessed to be able to have an artist of Tyler's caliber open up the way that he does on such a vulnerable song like this and a vulnerable album in general. But that being said, I think it's also one of the smoothest productions he's rapped on that album. I love the sampled synths. I love just the chill backdrop, and Tyler dissecting these different individuals and then, putting the microscope on himself. And listen, there's a bunch of other valid picks you could take from Chromacopia. Saint Chroma is one of them. Hey Jane, like you brought in. I also think Like Him is arguably the strongest cut on that record, which isn't really a hip-hop song, though. Noid as well.
The highs on that album are super
For
high.
sure. But yeah, I also love Daniel Caesar's stunning vocals, the opening hums and harmonies by Tyler. It's just another one of those full package songs for me. But let's go on to our top 5 now. At number 5, this is where I have Either On or Off the Drugs by JPEG Mafia. Crack the top 5.
There we go.
What do you got at 5?
I got Euphoria at number 5.
Wow, I see where this is shaping up. So it's looking like your list is on pace to maybe be half of the picks battle tracks, because I feel like this is not the last we're going to see. Don't even tell me, but I feel like this is not the last we're going to see.
Bro, this song is prophecy. This song is crazy. Like, when you really think about it, it's a song that I genuinely fucked up upon. Because I didn't understand it in the moment. And I don't think really anyone did, really. Because, I think people gravitated towards the rapping performances. Like, the angles were maybe a bit more subpar when you look at, let's say, other records that were released within that entire battle. But this calls the future, bro. That's what's so fucking impressive about it. Like, Kendrick called every single play and kind of, exposed what would happen within the entire beef itself all throughout it, bro. It's so prophetic. Not only that, but Looking at the Cardo production, the Soundwave production, it's so dynamic, bro. Not only that, but the second, cadence that he hits on the second part of the song, it's aggressive, it's in your face. It's arguably the best rapping performance that we've gotten out of the entire beef, next to another song that I'll be talking about very soon. I look at this record and I'm like, wow, it strives on so many different levels, and I think it's probably the song that's aged the best. I think at first, like, if I would have had to done my list, maybe in the month of April or May, around when all these tracks came out, 616, I would have put it in front of this one.
Yeah.
But looking at the total package as far as this record goes, this one's fucking impressive.
It's up there. Yeah, I think we were definitely not seeing the light with it right away. I've definitely grown more appreciation for it. Not quite top 10 for me, but I respect it. I think it's another valid pick.
I have to put it in some of the best writing.
Yeah. So either On or Off the Drugs by JPEG Mafia. This one might be a bit controversial just because I'm usually the first guy to shit on AI music. I just don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like it's often soulless, especially when you're using another artist's voice or likeness, and just filter your vocals through that. I feel like that's straight up theft. Even worse if you're trying to like build up an artist catalog from a label perspective, like we saw with the rapper FN Mecca, or how people like Timbaland previewed new verses from Biggie, which he never wrote, with his voice over his own beats. I think that shit's whack, bro, to be totally honest with you. And all that to say, the instrumental on this song that JPEG samples is an AI generated blues song that dropped in 2024. It's a cover of a Future song like we spoke about, but it's beautifully implemented. I feel like, this was him being creative in the sense that it's not like Kanye just, being lazy and, putting his vocals through it, putting his words through an AI filter like he did on Sky City. Like, this is JPEG Mafia turning something that's robotic and that's, generated by a machine and turning it into art, because it's not like he's just rapping over the sample and that's all it is. Like, no, it's a piece of it, right? Because it's a larger composition where he's adding these orchestral strings and he's adding these sensational electric guitar chords that ring off towards the end. So for me, it was just a cool way to take something as rejected as soulless AI music and, like I said, turn it into art. That being said, it's still scary that I fuck with this and so many people fuck with this song, because you don't want to normalize the AI shit in music in any facet. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel conflicted, but that being said, I can't deny my feelings about the music. And this is one of the best produced tracks of the entire year. It's a 2-minute masterclass from JPEG Mafia. Even from a writing standpoint, it's rare to get him in such a pensive state as you're getting him on this song, where he's exploring his internal and external conflicts, rapping about, the hardships of navigating through life, also as an artist. And the delivery is just so intimate. I love also his flow towards the end where he goes, "I just feel sad for you, little bro." Like, the extended delivery on some of those bars, incredible. And I love this song. It's probably going to age to be my favorite ever JPEG Mafia song. And like I said, it has everything.
Right up there with like the Hazard Duty pace.
But yeah, the AI conversation with this one is tricky.
It is tricky.
Very conflicted, but let me know how you guys feel about that conversation. Let's go into our top 4 now.
Top 4. This is where I'm going to have Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
This is where I'm going to have Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, fire. Number 4.
Same spot.
So where do we have this? We have this at number 2?
Well, you're saying at the halfway mark of the year?
Mark.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 for me.
I think we're going to have a similar top 3 at this point. Then,
yeah,
right?
And it's interesting because...
No, we both had it at number 2.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to see what that number 1 is now.
Yep. Oh, you thought Not Like Us was going to be number 1 for me?
I thought it was going to be top 2.
Okay.
And I thought I was going to maybe see a number 1 placement that I thought you had maybe here. Okay, so this is going to be tricky for me now to navigate.
Yeah, but listen, bro, when it comes to... I want to speak about the impact first because that plays a big role. It hasn't even been out for a year, bro, and the impact has already been immeasurable, right? Like,
it's the most impactful rap record of the year.
Yeah, and it's on pace to become the biggest diss track of all time. It was the knockout blow and the biggest rap battle ever. It inspired Kendrick to make a whole album with GNX in terms of just a sonic standpoint. I believe that, at least. He didn't confirm that, but just based on like the ear test.
Oh, but like... Okay, let's say, you're running your music and, you're trying to figure out your next sound or your next play. I mean, you see how many people are gravitating towards this record. And you got to tell yourself, you're like, man, like I'd be robbing people if I didn't make a record that had that sort of like hyphy Bay Area type of sound with that type of aggression. And it would be a shame if I didn't take my victory lap. We've seen rappers do this before too. Like this is not new in hip hop, where a rapper takes a victory lap after a win, like after a win. Looking at something like Stillmatic, for example, right? Like that's a huge fucking victory lap from a content matter perspective. And Nas once again like asserting his dominance after people had conversations around like that 2000s mark of like,
is he falling off?
Is he falling off?
Yeah.
You know, you have Illmatic, you did it was written. There's a couple of records there that I'm not sure about, but Stillmatic is undeniable, right? And I think GNX is that. Is it up to the quality and standard of Stillmatic? Obviously not, but I'm saying that's what you could compare it to when you look at this run. I think it also, this is the song that marks 2024. This is really it. And when you look at this record as a whole, it's just, I remember that night, I believe it was May 4th. I was sitting down at my aunt's house. It was my godson's birthday, and I was just, whoa. Nah, I don't know if this is gonna end up well.
Yeah, we had really fucked up not doing a reaction to this song. That's a bit of a regret I have, because that would have been unbelievable to do. But yeah, I think even from a strategy point of view, him, you know, I think I appreciate this more and I have it above a Euphoria and a 616 in LA, because it was the most unpredictable move. It was the most unpredictable chess play, in the sense that nobody expected Kendrick to make a Drake-like club banger, in the sense of making the catchiest tune of the battle. Like, that was Drake's forte. And not only that, but I feel like these were the hardest hitting disses of the entire battle as well. And you know, obviously, we expected Kendrick to perform lyrical surgery on Drake like he did on Euphoria, or, you know, to go at him in such a menacing way on Meet the Grahams. But to make an infectious anthem and to have the most entertaining song out of the battle, that was what was really mind-blowing to me.
Back. Also take his own strategy in his own battle catalog. It was really, it was one of the greatest chess moves I've ever seen in rap history. It's definitely one of those records that is going to be remembered forever. Seeing all the records that it's broken and seeing how it pushed the genre forward this year too. You could say that, you know, like we were missing some good like hit quality records this year, and this was one of these songs that just went absolutely crazy. So.
Bro, you said it was a national anthem the other day, and I said no, it's an international anthem, and we saw that it was the highest trending song on Google this year. I fucking went to Dominican Republic in the summertime, and this song was playing every day, multiple times a day. Like, this was a song for the world to enjoy, to marvel at.
Even seeing all the live sets, like, you know, DJs were playing this with crowds with 50 to 100,000 people in it, and people knew this song word for word, and they just went crazy.
I don't care if it's overplayed. I really don't care. It's that good of a song, bro. It really is. But also the quotables. Anyways, yeah. I could speak for an hour about the song. Let's head into our top three. Number 3 is going to be Blueslides by ScHoolboy Q.
Okay, so 4 and 3 are the same. I think we're gonna. Oh, bro.
Are we gonna have 2 and 1 the same as well? That's the question.
I don't know.
Okay, this is my prediction. My prediction is our 1 and 2 are gonna be inverse.
I have a prediction. I think our 1 and 2 are the
same.
I don't know.
Because
I know we have the same 2 songs.
Yeah, I know.
It just depends what you want to do.
But yeah.
It depends what you want to do. Okay, so let's talk about Blueslides, man. One of the rawest and most emotional tracks of the year from a writing standpoint. I just love everything about it. And when we included this in our top 3 in the midway point of our so far list, I had no problem putting it in the top 3, and I still don't have a problem with it. From a writing standpoint, I just love when a rapper is able to open up like that. It's fucking beautiful, bro. It's a beautiful, beautiful track.
It really is. I just love the lush 1930s jazz feel of the song. It feels like he's really in a jazz cafe just opening up, you know, with the audience. And more than that, I think it's the best written and most poetic track of ScHoolboy Q's entire career. It feels like this is him trying to rebuild after being worn down for so long. You know, he's motivating himself. He has lines that hit so hard, like, you know, better pull yourself out of that hole before you fuck up your blessings.
Bro, this part of the first verse is some of my favorite writing of the entire year. Been a prisoner in my own house. I don't know if they noticed. I done broke down so many times. Next time, it gonna catch me. crazy. I done helped so many people. They took me for granted. I done lost on so much shit trying to live to your standards. I done made problems my problems. Now I barely can breathe, bro. This track feels like Q's kind of like suffocating to a certain extent. Even this one, but sometimes you gotta be a deadbeat when the kids gotta eat, bro. That's crazy.
That's literally to me, it's like an oxymoron. Like, it's so ironic because, you know, he's saying like you got to be a deadbeat, you got to like travel and be away from your family, but you're doing it on goodwill to provide for that family. So I love the writing here without a doubt. And you know, just getting Q, you know, someone that's viewed as this tough gangster rapper, to, you know, rap about his own survival and end the song off with him, you know, going to God with open arms and asking to be healed. It's some heavy shit, bro.
It really is.
And
some
it's
heavy shit.
finely produced. There's moments throughout the year and even now where I think to myself, like, is this the best song of the year? Like, you can make the argument for it. You could.
I don't know, bro.
It's number 3.
It's number 3.
It's number
top
3 for me. I
It's
placed it there. I'm just saying I wouldn't be mad if someone had this as their song of the year.
All right.
But all right. By the way, guys, honorable mentions are going to come in after we name our number 2
Yes, sir.
spot. But here we go. Number 2 is Reincarnated by Kendrick Lamar. There we go. Let's
fucking
go.
kept it.
This is the most in line we've been, bro, on a fucking
We
list.
fucking kept it.
What the fuck, man?
Yes, sir.
That's nuts.
I'm so happy I have it at number 1. Whatever. We're gonna get to our number 1 after the honorable mentions.
Yeah, you had,
You
to,
know
you
what,
had
bro?
to keep it. Don't even say
I
what
was
it
like-
is for people that don't
I
know.
don't
But
I
had to
feel
keep it.
like this song is better written than my number 1. But
Yes,
bro, there was
doesn't
an
matter.
undeniable factor. Yeah, there was just something else with things.
There's more to. That's what I want to say is that, like, I feel like a lot of people in the comments are gonna say, "Oh, you don't have Ken Carson and Eden here at all. You guys just go for the fucking lyrics." Like, chill. Like, we of course we consider lyrics and we value them very highly, like more maybe than like other commentators in the space. But that being said, it's not all we look at, and I think that our number 1 pick is going to reflect that a little bit. But number 2, Reincarnated. This is a song where I've said this multiple times. Like, if I was going to make this list based on literally just my rotation or what my favorite songs of the year are, it would look differently. Like a song like Whacked Out Murals, which is an honorable mention, is a song that I played way more, I get more replay value out of. But again, if I'm just going to take the approach of like, what is a song that impressed me the most and that really stands alone? So, like, I think about it this way too, right? Like, what's a song that no other artist could have replicated or even tried to attempt to make in 2024? This is
But
it.
you know, that's Kendrick's like sort of superpower since the beginning of his career, going back to like, you know, songs off of Section 80 or even Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, talking about how much $1 costs, songs like Fear. This has always been the Hard Part 5. The perspective switches has always been in his arsenal, and I think that his core fan base values that so much. And it was on full display here. And obviously there's speculation going around on, you know, whose perspectives is he attacking when it comes to, you know, verse 1 and verse 2. There's obviously certain artists that you could put up there, but I don't know. I'll let you guys do the speculation for yourself. But even verse 3, but for me, it's really verse 3. If this song, let's say, just ended at verse 2, I don't think it would have been as high up on my list. It's verse 3, bro. To be able to be like, wow, that's some fucking ridiculously good writing. Forget about the vocal effects that he puts on like certain lines for his voice to be able to replicate like God's demeanor or talking about like God's cadence. It's really like him questioning his morality as a man and like, why is he here on this earth? How is he reincarnated into a different person? And why is he walking this earth? And I don't know if this speaks to everyone because people are like, oh man, I don't come to music to listen to that type of stuff, you know? Like, you know, it's unk music. But I don't know, bro. Like when I listen to this type of music, at least for me, in my personal opinion, I feel like it hits the soul different and it makes you reflect. And that's what I love about Kendrick Lamar's music. Yeah, it's not something that I would like play in the whip with like the boys low key. Actually, I probably would. But, you know, looking at that third verse, like this is why I listen to Kendrick Lamar's music and that's why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's Kendrick in his element, and it's him acting as a vessel, you know, for people he feels connected to in some way and vocalizing their deepest and darkest thoughts and troubles, you know, like he's done in the past on a song like Sing About Me, like you mentioned perfectly. And I think that was something I appreciated too is how well he was able to capture the voice and cadences of Tupac as well throughout the song. So it's like, not only is he immortalizing people with his choice of words, but he's also doing it with the vocals, which was another layer to the song that I admired so much. And not only that, but with this album, time and time again, looking at the Man of the Garden, interpolation and looking at different elements, Kendrick proved that he is still a student of the game, and he's going to keep the roots with him and like flourish with those roots of hip hop. And here you're getting that inspiration from an Eminem, from a DMX, looking at songs like Damien or My Darling, where you have that conversation between, Kendrick and God, or in the Eminem context, Eminem and the devil, like very similar playing field.
Can I ask you something? Like,
Yeah.
why do you think there's so much resentment towards this style of rap in 2024? Seeing the quotes from the community, seeing like producers that are talking like out against this type of rap, like it's so weird to me, because at the end of the day, like this is the essence of the genre.
Yeah.
Like if you're a fan of this type of music, I get it. Maybe you're not playing it in your rotations. That's subjective, and I can never question why you guys wouldn't play a song. But when you look at a song like Reincarnated, it's just one of those tracks where like that's so impressive from an artistic standpoint.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Like, why do you think people resent it?
I think it's definitely something that stems from the younger generation. I think that the music.
But like, okay, example, we're 24 years old.
Yes,
like
okay.
we're still a part of the young generation to
We
a
are,
certain extent.
to a certain extent,
And-
but still keep in mind that like we came in at a very critical point. If we were born maybe 5 years later, I think it could have been different from us, because in, let's say, 2012, 2013, when we were really diving super, super deep into hip hop, you had lyricism still at the forefront. You had like the big three breaking out. You had Wale, you had Big Sean, you had all these guys that were still holding that mantle up pretty high. But then as you move on to more of the mid 2010s and the later 2010s, there was a clear shift towards trap music, towards mumble rap, towards clout rap, and all this other
the
shit.
SoundCloud era really took prominence.
Yes, and I feel like now we're at a point where it's just become increasingly more difficult for a lyricist who isn't the big three to shine and to sell records. And I think it's because a lot of the people that grew up in that generation are realizing, or maybe thinking to themselves, in their opinion, like, these are the guys that are consistently providing me with the type of hip-hop, that lyrical excellence hip-hop that I'm enjoying, so I don't need to go anywhere else. And then for the other side of the audience, well, they don't have the attention span to sit down and to go on Genius and to really admire a song's concept. They don't give a fuck. They want a quick fix. They want something that can sound good and that they can show to their friends and that, they can listen to while they're shooting hoops or whatever the case may be. And that's cool too, but you cannot neglect hip-hop's roots, bro. That's where the beginning of the end comes for the genre, if you totally neglect those.
And I feel like it's getting there, bro. I feel like it's crazy. It's really getting there. And I think all good things come to an end at a certain point. But like when I started to see like hate on this type of stuff, and I started to see like people saying, oh, well, it's unk music, like, how do you guys listen to this? Like, I'm not going to force myself. I get it. Like, and there's certain styles of music that I don't necessarily enjoy, but to really like sit down and be like, fuck this, bro. And like being like, why you guys, I don't know, whatever. Maybe it's a disconnection thing, but... Anyways, we'll do like a narrative piece at a certain point,
Yeah,
but
man.
that's a top end song. Of the
But
year.
absolutely, let's get into our honorable mentions here. I'm just gonna like run
Rip them.
through all of mine, and you can do yours.
Sure.
I have On the Set by Freddie Gibbs. Really wanted to include it. Big Dump Ballad by West Side Gun, his best song in maybe a couple of years for me. Whacked Out Murals by Kendrick Lamar. 616 in LA is another one for sure. Fuel by Eminem featuring Jid. Paul Rodriguez by Logic, Black and Blue by Vince Staples.
Didn't make mine either.
Little Homies as well. This Man by Common and P-Rock. DBZ by Ural Droog featuring Denzel and Method Man. Walk On By No Worries featuring Earl, and 123 by Chief Keef. And there's so many more. What a strong year.
Yeah, Samurai, Ruby Rosary, Like
Yes.
That, Push Ups, 616, Sanjay, Whacked Out Murals, On the Set, Fuel, Paul Rodriguez, DBZ as well. It was a strong year. I think it was a strong year, and no one could deny it. But number one,
We knew what it was gonna be. I'm happy that a part of me maintained that faith that we were gonna see the vision together at the end.
What is it? Top four? We did 4, 3, 2, 1 together.
Literally, almost half our list is identical here. We never had this before. It's pretty nuts.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah.
remember this year for this song though. This is gonna be my personal anthem of the year. This is "Thank God for Me" by ScHoolboy Q.
It is.
No way, bro. No. When I saw the snippet at the boiler room,
It was over.
No, I'm like, no, we can't go here. We're not gonna. The production is incredible, bro.
It is.
The production's stupid.
One of the best beat switches of the entire year, and
one of the best beat switches of the entire decade.
It is, and it's sort of like this musical swinging door where you go from like the starting more like relaxed instrumental to then the trunk rattling like southern hip hop Project Pat Chicken Head sample. Then you switch back to the original instrumental,
but
by
it keeps the same drum.
Exactly.
Bro,
masterfully produced.
Masterful. And then after that, like even the cadence switch from the second part into the third, like ScHoolboy Q's like voice gets a bit lighter. It's just, whoa, this song is the perfect blend of accessibility and substance as well. You know, ScHoolboy Q talked about how he wanted to approach this album with Blue Lips. And I think he did a magnificent job on it, but especially with this song, like being so open, with being like, you know, thank God for me, like thank God I'm here, thank God I'm the one doing this, like really being thankful for yourself. And people might think that that's a selfless...
selfish, you mean?
No, sorry, that's... Well, you could say selfless as well. In order to be selfish, you have to be selfless and vice versa. But that's kind of like this message that's very, I would say, non-complicated. Like the writing...
in order to be selfish, you need to be selfless?
Exactly. Because how are you going to give to others if you can't give to yourself?
No, but selfish means that you only...
I know.
You're only
but that's
like,
the paradox.
concerned with yourself.
Yes, but that paradox... Okay, listen. This is the saying. In order to be selfless, you need to be selfish. Because how are you going to give people a part of yourself and be selfless if you don't have yourself?
Yes, but I don't think it works the other way around where like...
Of course. Because
what I'm trying to say is that if you're selfish... then how are you going to be selfless? If you're selfless, maybe you're also selfish in some ways, but I'm not sure about the other way around.
Absolutely. I'll explain it to you. This is a quote that I love.
It's a bit contradictory.
But it goes hand in hand. It's like the yin and the yang. How are you going to give people something of yourself if you don't have anything for yourself?
What I'm trying to tell you is that there are people in the world that are selfish, but not also simultaneously selfless. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yes, but there's also people in the world that are selfless, but they're not
also selfish.
And not selfish. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it goes both ways.
It doesn't always... You can't be both and not just one of those, is what I'm trying to say.
Of course you can. Yeah, I'll explain it to you after the recording.
I disagree, but yeah, we could chop that up later, guys. But yeah, speaking about Thank God for Me, mind-blowing production like we were talking about, and I think it's one of the best songs of the year just because of how nuanced it is, right? Like at face value, you might think that it's just this southern hip-hop trunk rattler, but in the second half, you end up seeing that it's a song about a man coming to terms with his own mortality. I love just the adrenaline-ridden animated performance from Q. That's something else I wanted to say as to why it's my number one. I think it's arguably the best mic presence performance of the entire year. I love the howls and the ad-libs in the background. He kind of sounds like he's in his own hype man on this song. Incredible amount of energy displayed, transformative flows. And again, I think structurally, it's so fascinating as well because from a written point of view, he starts off, you know, calmly rapping about how all of his guys are solid, no one would ever snitch on him. And then there's this abrupt switch where he loses his temper and you start to find out that one of his guys did snitch on him in this situation and he completely loses it and you hear it through his delivery. It's such a fun song, bro. It really is. It's the song of the year for me.
It is the song of the year. And I knew back in March it would be song of the year. Guys, that's the list. Let us know where we got it right, where we got it wrong. What didn't we include? And should have made our list, you know? And guys, drop your top 10 lists in the comment section. I want to see them. I'm going to react to them. And guys, a lot of end of the year content on the way. This is the first big piece, I could say, out of many that's going to be coming out towards the end of 2024. And guys, also remember, December 29th, big day for the NFR community. NFR Awards. You're probably going to see some of these songs be nominated. Probably some of these songs are going to win. And guys, it's always a celebration. Lou and I are going to be suited up. We're going to get the drinks flowing. We're going to be talking with the community. Vinyl raffles. It's probably my favorite night of the year.
It is.
It really is, guys. So much love to the entire community, guys. It was an honor to be able to cover this music with you guys in 2024. And it's going to be a great end of the year. So much love, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.